Yeah, Coco.
Hi, welcome to my eclectic channel. My name is Agnès and I make videos for fun. We've been working on one of those little numbers. I've stitched and pressed my shoulder seams, both on the shell and the lining. Can't quite tell that I pressed them, but I did. So the next step is to put the two together, the lining and the shell. At this point, we've got two vests, one in the lining, one in the shell, and the side seams are undone, so they can be completely opened up. And what we want to do is to put them one on top of each other with their right sides facing. And I'm going to pin them together. We want to stitch them together along the armholes, and we want to stitch them together along the front, so starting at the side seam, down the front, the middle, around the neck, and back all the way to the other side seam. And then finally we want to stitch them together at the bottom in the back. The only place we're not stitching them together is at the side seams, so leave that separate. It's all pinned, and I'm ready to take that to my machine to stitch. I must say I am pretty proud of how things lined up. This is a project where you want your two pieces, the lining and the shell, to have exactly the same shape, because they have to match everywhere. So that means precise cutting and a precise, when you're stitching, consistent seam allowances. So happy with how this is going so far. I don't know how much that matters, but the tutorial that I'm following does say to start with the armholes, so that's what I'm stitching first. And next is the long line of stitching that goes from the side seam all the way up the front, around the neck, and back down to the other side seam. I stitched the armholes and then I started doing the front when I remembered that I had to finalize the shape in the front, and now's the time or never, because in the front we have this remnant of this laser-like color, and now is the time to permanently get rid of that. So I'm using as a guide actually the center back seam, because that tells me where the vertical is. And right at the bottom we are starting, we follow, actually I can line up my seam, so my seam allowances, so we're following, all is good. But then we start to veer off, and all of that is not going to look good. I did a fitting, and indeed it's not right. So I have to follow the back seam. I've traced that with the chalk. So when I stitch, I am going to follow this straight chalk mark and then resume with my regular seam allowance when I get to the neckline. And then on the other side, I have to mirror the same. Unfortunately, I put my I don't know why I did that, because that was it wasn't a good idea. But I have to live with it. I put my interfacing really close here, so I don't have very much of a seam allowance at all. So I'll have to cheat. I will go to less than ½ inch of seam allowance. I will need to take some of the interfacing into the seam allowance. It's not a very thick interfacing, so I'm hoping that will be fine. It has to be. And then I will use the interfacing as a guide to continue vertically. until I get to the neckline. And lastly, we are doing the bottom hem in the back. Now we get to the fun part, turning the vest inside out. And here I don't know if I can. Well, I mean, obviously I will have to, but I might have to undo some stitching. We shall see. Because the method I've seen relies on inserting the hand through one of the side seams and then traveling. So you gotta, of course, you're gonna travel through around the neck to the other side, and then you can grab the other side seam and then pull it through. That means that your hand plus your entire vest has to go through this corridor here and this one. And since mine is a halter top, those are quite narrow. So first of all, my hand doesn't go. But it's okay. Maybe my hand doesn't need to go. Maybe if I can push things through, like my vest needs to go through. But I'll give it a go off camera because I don't want to bore you with an hour of struggle. But right now I'm doubtful. So I might have to undo the shoulder seams is what I'm thinking, and then find a different way to finish the vest once I've turned it inside out. Progress update. I was able to pull both the back of the vest through right side out and one of the fronts. I was able to pull this through this shoulder, so that part of the vest is right side out. What I have left to do is to pull the other half of the front, and that has to go through the other shoulder. For all the talk earlier about how wonderful a job I did, the two shoulders are not quite exactly the same. This one is narrower by I think as much as a centimeter, which is not good for several reasons. For one thing, it's too narrow. I cannot pull the front through. And second, if I could turn it right side out, then on this kind of a width, it may not be a full centimeter, but it doesn't take a lot for when it's this narrow. One little mistake and the two shoulders will not look the same. So I need to even that out, and I do have some seam allowance, so I will do that. I'm going to re-stitch this shoulder here to a width that matches this one exactly, and then I know that it'll be wide enough to pull the other half of the front through. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe for more.